and gentlemen, our country is falling apart.
The nation is in mourning tonight.
Our institutions are failing. Crime is out of control. It is our duty to fix it. We are touching on every sector of society. Race, class, and corruption. Nothing is off limit. No holds barred. The Cold Truth with Kim Cole. The power belongs to the people. Join us right here, Monday to Sunday, 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you all for tuning in to The Cold Truth. I am Kim Cole. Today on The Cold Truth, it's Fun Friday. Now, a bit of background. Fun Friday on The Cold Truth, and we want to wrap up the week with a twist on what's been happening in our country. So, you all ever went to a party with a crew and someone spoiled the whole experience? Either they couldn't handle their liquor, or they only complaining, but not really adding to the enjoyment. Well, we at The Cold Truth call people like that party poopers. But the same rule applies to our local politicians. There's always some fool, some imps, some rubbish-talking madman or woman that's ruining their political party's reputation in the public eye. So, inspired by none other than Phillip Edward Alexander, we'd like to introduce you to a new weekly segment called TNT's Party Poopers, where you, the audience, get to vote for who you think should win this week's Party Pooper Awards. Now let's start at the top of the party, the all-inclusive VIP section. That is the People's National Movement. Now, it's been 2.5 years since the September 2015 election. You know, the midpoint in the government's 5-year term. Some MPs are working hard, and then there are those who are hardly working in the PNM band camp. So let's have a look at this image. This week, our nominee for the PNM Party Pooper Award is none other than Mr. Drop Call, or Mr. Do Answer calls himself, the Minister of Sport, Daryl Smith. Now, in 2017, Smitty Boy reached in the People News for $92,000 spent on a Tobago trip for an award ceremony. The Prime Minister gave him a blind 9 days wonder. The people forget. He jumped back in the news again when the former finance minister had some questions about the Daryl Smith Foundation. Guys, let's see the clip quick.
Foundation was officially launched comes word that the entity is not listed on either the Register of Companies or the Register of Business Names. The proof, this document from the Registrar General's Department dated July 31st, 2017. CNC3 contacted former minister in the Ministry of Finance, Mariano Brown, who says these are grounds for an investigation to be launched.
It was virtually impossible to have I don't know how you can have an unregistered foundation. All right, so Mr. Inwood has something else to go and investigate.
Brown believes that the sport minister is now in the same position as former government minister Marlene MacDonald.
Except that she only cashed the check after the foundation was registered. All right, so in this particular one, what you'll have to ask is you have to ask him to demonstrate how the foundation is registered.
Brown says it will be in the sport minister's best interest to come clean.
In those circumstances, it's only fair that the minister, I think, gives some background, because we would not want him to be tainted with the same allegations which were made against Marlene MacDonald.
CNC3 reached out to Minister Smith on his cell phone for comment, but was unable to reach him. Christy Ramnarine, CNC3.
So I want you all to keep going with me. Then he recently again jumped back in the People news after Olympic athlete Richard Thompson spoke out about the disrespectful treatment he received from an official at the Ministry of Sport and the continued problems athletes are having with him as a minister and with the way they were treated, the way the minister and the sports ministry treat sport in this country. And of course, with Minister Smith, it's either you can't get him or when you do get onto him, it's because the call drops when you have a serious question. Let's take a look at this clip.
18 Carifta Triathlon, Aquathlon and Mixed Relay Championships to be held on Turtle Beach in Tobago at the end of September. The Triathlon Federation announced this morning TNT won the bid to host the event. We contacted Minister of Sport and Youth Affairs to get his thoughts on another major sporting event coming to TNT.
Of events sometimes works out better than actually having to buy plane tickets and hotels and so on to go to the event, because the other benefit of hosting, we were able, depending on the sport, to have more athletes participate at home. Case in point, the other day with badminton and the Caribou.
Now, while we had the minister over the phone, we asked him about the Richard Thompson and TNT athletes issue that the ministry is yet to respond to. He appeared to either hang up or the call was dropped when the question was posed to him. Listen. Are you going to be responding to the Richard Thompson issue anytime soon? Yeah, that was us trying to call him back. We tried 3 times, but there was no answers. I did text him. He said that it did appear that the call was dropped. However, no calls subsequent to that was answered.
Smitty boy, we're really telling yourself, our memory's short, but with 2.5 years to go, you're dragging the flag for the People's National Movement. Pull up your socks. The nation is watching, and today you have earned our first nomination. And also coming out of the PNM camp as a nominee for the Party Pooper of the Week, we have the Minister of National Insecurity, Mr. Edmund Dillon. Now, Minister Dillon allegedly tried to swindle a piper in the U.S. An elderly, incapacitated man by the name of Neville Piper has had Minister Dillon hopping to the U.S. for the past 7 months. Over ownership of a high-rise condominium in Manhattan, New York. Now, news reports put Minister Dillon as visiting the U.S. to attend a U.S. Supreme Court civil matter in which allegations of elder financial abuse, exploitation, and fraud have been leveled against him. Minister Dillon said the man is his friend and is addressing calls for his resignation. And in addressing calls for his resignation, said he was not going anywhere as there was no evidence to substantiate the accusations made by Mr. Piper or his niece, who brought the matter before the New York Supreme Court. Minister Dillon, I'm speaking to you directly. How you could be the Minister of National Security with our crime rate out of control while you allegedly back and forth to the U.S. fighting in their court system? What you telling yourself? Listen, Mr. Dillon rightly deserves his nomination for Party Pooper of the Week. Whether you did it or did not try to swindle the old man out of his property is not the issue. It is that you have to focus, or you have to shift your focus to fighting your own matter when we need a Minister of National Security to be fighting our matters and getting crime under control. Now, I'd like some of you at home to weigh in on who deserves the Party Pooper Award from the PNM camp, Minister Smith or Minister Dillon. So our telephone lines are open, 622-9785, 628-6093. And whilst I wait for the phone lines, to start lighting up, I didn't have to wait that long. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Good evening, the beautiful Miss Cole. Miss Cole?
Yes, Tanti.
For sure, Minister Dillon, to try and allegedly defraud an old man, once a man, twice a child, party pooper of the year. Cancel.
Thank you so much. So, guys, make a log, and that's one for Dylan. Hi, good afternoon, caller. You're live.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my dear. Good afternoon.
I will answer your question, but permit me to have to make what is it? Do a little narration, if I will, after. I think Mr. Dillon is featuring right now, and he should get that award right now. But in all of that, I will still say we need to get more information on that situation, right? Because lady before call and say, he defrauded an old man, and I didn't get the impression that the person was an old man from the information that was released. So, and these are the information that we need to have confirmed before we jump to conclusion. Right?
Thank you so much, caller. How that Balize juice tasting this evening?
Pardon me?
How is the Balize juice tasting this evening? Because I just sat down and I explained everything from beginning to end. You telling me I should get my facts.
I didn't catch it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying to you. If you don't catch it, then don't call and give an answer and undermine what I am doing here.
All right.
Thank you so much.
If you don't mind.
That is 2 for Mr. Dillon. I do apologize, caller. Hi, good afternoon. Caller, you're live. Hello?
Miss Cole?
Yes, my love.
Good evening again. That caller, I know his voice, and sir, you're a very disagreeable person, respectfully so. Thank you for answering out.
Tanti, you're killing me in the caller here. But if you think that, you know, it's just the PNM, no, we have a lot more for you. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Hi, Miss Cole. I wanted to talk about something else, if I'm allowed. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yesterday on social media, a young man came claiming to be the brother of the murderer of the living lady in Sawa. And I was pleased with his broadcast. However, I'm disappointed of the media in Trinidad and Tobago. Right? In the United States,
we've got to take a very short break, but when we return, we're going to give you the UNC Party Pooper of the Week. You are watching The Cold Truth, and we will be right back.
Ladies and gentlemen, our country is falling apart.
The nation is in mourning tonight.
Our institutions are failing. Crime is out of control. It is our duty to fix it. We are touching on every sector of society. Race, class, and corruption. Nothing is off limit. No holds barred. The Cold Truth with Kim Cole. The power belongs to the people. Join us right here, Monday to Sunday, 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.
Hi, welcome to Tanti's Show Food Delight. We are located at Orsa Espana and Duke Street, Port of Spain. Graduated from THCI, which is they call hotel school at Shagaramas, and I am the owner of this business, and we have daily lunches, which is from Tuesdays to Saturdays. On a Saturday we do breads, sweet bread. We also have soups, oxtail soup and cowbell soups to your delight. We also have different menus daily from 11 to 3. We also cater for different occasions like weddings and birthday parties. We always want to ensure that the customer is satisfied with the end product here at Tanti's Kitchen.
The Red Edge Mall at the corner Mooneyram Street and Western Main Road, St. James, where parking is available for our valued customers on both sides of the street. Red Edge Mall caters for the health conscious, the tastiest soups you'll ever find, the freshest produce, trendy clothing for the fashion dons and divas. Experience the most exotic African male and female outfits, costume jewelry of all descriptions. If you're one who pays special attention to your hair, welcome to the home of hair. Get the latest and widest variety of phones of all descriptions and repairs on the spot at the Red Edge Mall. Closing time 9 p.m. The Red Edge Mall, making shopping affordable. Powered by the Black Caucus Movement.
The Black Caucus Movement, we're making a statement. The Black Caucus Movement, making a statement. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Edge Solution is a brand of hair and skin products that are used to treat different issues. We offer a hair trim benefits. Our shampoo is peppermint infused, which helps unclog pores and aid in hair regrowth. We also have a calming skin lotion, which is excellent for psoriasis, eczema, and other skin issues. All our products are all natural and contains no harsh chemicals and are 100% handmade.
Ladies and gentlemen, our country belongs to the people. Join us right here, Monday to Sunday, 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.
Welcome back. You are watching The Cold Truth with Kim Cole. Remember, we are streaming live on Facebook at The Cold Truth. And be sure to like our page for updates to get into the discussion. Now, I might come under some fire for this. But to be honest, I don't really business. Truth is truth, and you're watching The Cold Truth. If you're saying outer timing things or making decisions that may put your party in a bad light, you are a ripe candidate for the Cold Truth Party Pooper Awards. Now, that said, UNC, Anti-Cam's leader of the opposition, Mrs. Kamla Persad-Bissessar, last week, this week, you have earned a nomination for Party Pooper of the Week. Why? How united is your United National Congress? If Basdio Pandey started the party and his daughter Michaela wants to meet with you to discuss her views, whether you agree with her views or not, as a citizen, you could have just afforded her a few minutes. Hear Michaela out. If after you hear what she has to say, you decide that, you don't like it, then by all means, move on. But understand that there are those who see this as you not willing to hear constructive criticisms. After losing the last election, the party is still picking salt out of its wounds. You saying it can win alone, but first you need to get everybody on the same page. This one saying, bring back Jack. A next one saying, bring back Pandey. Everybody throwing in their 2 cents, and you coming off like a mother with a set of naughty children who just not listening. The party is the United National Congress, not the disagreeing National Congress. Come now, man, talk to Michaela, talk to your party, hear some constructive criticism. And if you can't present a united front, why do you think people should support at all this Ray and Bacchanal? Tidy all the camp, you're dragging your own flag. And I'm going to stop to take this call. Hi, good afternoon. Caller, you're live.
Hello, I'm moving to the Minister of National Security, Mr. Deyanna.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, he's the party poop for the 2.5 years.
He's the party pooper?
Yeah, party pooper for the 2.5 years.
All right. So that's 3 for Deyanna?
Yeah.
All right, we're going still. So while we're still on the UNC, we have Glenn Ramadasinghe. Well, boy, things hot in Siparia. Siparia Regional Corporation faced some embarrassment this week as they were levied on by former laborer Nero Joseph for failing to pay compensation for a 2011 occupational accident. From the corporation's failure to submit documents to the insurance company to compensate Joseph, then their failure to file a defense in the High Court after being sued, everybody had to stand up and watch as Joseph's agent, aided by a High Court marshal, seized 5 vehicles. Yes, the man seized 5 vehicles from the regional corporation in Superior. Glenboy, stress. You don't know. All you have to pay bills on time. You're dropping the ball and not keeping an eye on your quarters. And for that, you, my friend, get a nomination for this week's UMC Party Pooper Award. Hi, good afternoon. Caller, you're live. Hello? Hi, good afternoon. I do apologize. The call seems to have dropped, but you're welcome to call back 622-9785 or 628-6093. Now, whilst we're continuing, it gets better. Now, hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear, you're live.
How you all criticize Kamala and everybody else? Why all you don't criticize Rowley when he makes disparaging remarks about people? You know what they say? Monkey know which tree to climb.
Caller, wherever rock you just come out from, go back underneath that rock fast. Go fast. Clearly, you have just tuned into the cold truth. And a matter of fact, look out for the rerun Saturday or Sunday. I ain't even going to waste my time on you. Now, the Progressive Empowerment Party. Look, I consider myself a fair person. I would listen, and if something sounds fishy, I would ask questions. I don't need nobody to tell me what to say or who to say it to. This show is not a PNM show or a UMC show or a PEP show. Caller. This show is the cold truth. That said, real talk, plain talk, bad manners. And I'm going to stop to take this call. Caller, good afternoon, you're live.
Good evening
yes,
again,
Auntie.
Miss Cole. Miss Cole, number one, I consider you to be more than a fair person. In fact, if I could put you to run a party and I had the finances, why don't I win the lotto? You'd be the leader. Now, that lady that just called and brought out her little snail from inside the gutter, lady, you don't belong. You don't deserve to be listening to this program. Quite obviously, you have not heard of the cold. Not cool, cold. Now, let me tell you something. Pandey formed the party. And we could see when I was talking to Stork, young Stork, I forgot to tell him, watch the history. Pandey formed the party, supposedly is Kamala's guru, allegedly, but that is how you treat a guru and his daughter? No, no, no. And then Pandey put you in power, not Pandey, Jack. And look what you did to Jack, clear your name. Well, how many of them in the party needs to clear their name? There is one of them who feels he's a movie star. He was once on a show, allegedly, singing Prem Kahani Hai when he was in power. That is an Indian love song. And now, every minute he's on the TV, once he come out and talk about Vasan Bharat, when Vasan Bharat didn't get the information he asked for, he did not have the testicular fortitude to fight the internal election. Sir, you guys did not supply the information. So the man withdraw, and you're now, every minute I see you on the TV, you're blaming the opposition leader with all the nice rats, whatever his name is, I can't remember. You're blaming every possible person, anything to blame. Now, you jumped onto Mr. Dillon. Granted, he is party pooper. You jumped onto him. You dug up this information. Why don't you start digging up some on yourself, sir? Dig up something on yourself. You have allegedly a lot of forensic audit things that Stuart Young pulled up against you. Is it that you're trying to hide those, like maybe Minister Dillon is trying allegedly to hide. Come on, man. Fair is fair. Thank you, Tanso.
Tanti, before you go, you're there or you're not there. You didn't tell me who you vote for the UNC's party pooper. You didn't say if your nomination was Kamla Prasad Bisesa or Glenn Ramadas Singh. So call back 622-9785 or 628-6093. Hi, good afternoon. So the call dropped. Now,
Pleasant evening.
yes, my dear, good afternoon.
When people do not understand the cold truth, they need to stay away from the TV program.
Caller, could you please say what you're saying?
Yeah, when people do not understand the cold truth, they need to stay away from the TV program.
So let me ask you this
No,
before you go.
I'm talking about the lady that called that you said.
I know. Who you voting for?
I am voting for the biggest comedian, Glenn. Ramadas Singh and Dylan.
Glenn and Dylan so far?
Yeah. These people and them, they prove to be not worthy of representing the people, man. They just be... Right? Thank you so much for your time and have a good evening.
Yes, my dear. Thank you so much for calling in. Now, we're going to tally up all of the votes and let you know who is the party pooper at the end of the program. Now, the Progressive Empowerment Party, as I was saying, real talk, bad manners. The PEP actually has some good ideas. Whether they can execute those ideas is another debate. But I can guarantee you that as long as Phillip Edward Alexander is the head of that party, nobody is taking it seriously. Phillip Edward Alexander is what I like to call a loose cannon. Phillip, I want to talk to you directly here for a second. Regardless of what transpired on this show, for you to go back home, toting feelings enough to do a whole live video talking about my pushed up tits and my weave and saying things like, you don't care if nobody vote for your party, and dropping words that rhyme with itch to describe me and other women. Done. Conduct yourself now. Have some decorum. In 2018, you really think it's okay to call women the B word and talk about their body parts like it's a KFC advertisement? You could have the best ideas, the cure for cancer, the cure for AIDS, the cure for Trevor Sayers videos. You could jump high and you could jump low. As long as Phillip Edward Alexander is the leader of the PEP, that party will lose the pep in their step because Phillip is his own worst enemy. And he is the party's #1 party pooper. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
Kim, it's nice to finish to talk to you this evening. You know, I'll tell you who's the party pooper in a minute there, but I really wish that we can have some leaders that the young people can look up to. You did a show yesterday, and you're talking about bullying.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be great if we had leaders who would use proper language, right? Who would be respectful, who would do the right thing so that these young people could look up to them. You know, it's about time people stop going on social media and putting on something that we just don't want right now. This country needs some leaders who the young people could look up to. And not only young people, but people in general. You know what I mean? This thing has to stop. This thing has to stop. I mean, if we carry on like this, where are we going to end up? You know?
Mm-hmm.
So I hope these leaders could even look at the ways, for example, Mr. Obama used to carry himself. You know? These kind of things don't go on in full country. You know?
I know.
Something's got to change. We can't be carrying on like this. For party pooper, will have to be Mr. Dillon.
Your party pooper for the PNM camp is Dillon. Who is your party pooper for the UNC camp? Kamla or Glenn?
Kamla. It's happening, Kamla.
And your party pooper for PEP?
I can't say.
Well, there's only one nominee this week, you know, and it's Phillip, so... Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. Hi, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. This is a very interesting program this evening. And I like the balance in it, you know, the balance of views and that kind of thing, because it shows that it's a program that's really willing to criticize anybody regardless of what political party is. So it's more like a patriotic program, right? Because it's, but what is sad to know is that in this country where there are bloopers and clowns on both sides, you have somebody like Phillip that can come up as an alternative. That is to show how bad we are. We really need preachers to come to the fore, you know, because
bankrupt the leaders in this country.
Yeah, because if Phillip could come, because Phillip is a man that is his way or the highway, and I can see Phillip in Parliament right now answering all the questions for each of the people who were elected, because that is how he is. If he can get on like a total idiot, what would he do? As you said, he told him feelings he gone home. He told him feelings he made. I mean, please imagine somebody who says something or revives probably someone of the allegations of fraud and misconduct that he has been accused of on Facebook all over the place, and that he still can't answer to. If someone does that, what will happen? They want to migrate. So at the end of the day, we're not only looking at what we have there now, but we're looking at alternatives. And if that is an alternative, we need to probably go in the prison and see who we could recruit. Yeah, because the place is a mess. But that thing with Kamala Sarr, I tell you, when I looked in the newspaper, because I mean, when somebody's in a position of authority and they're afraid, because I feel it's fear with Kamala, because Michaela Pandey is a bright young lawyer who has the energy. She has, you know, she grew up with the political environment around her with her father, and she knows a lot. And she would have a lot of new ideas. And the Kamala Blanca, I find that's a tragedy. It's a tragedy not only for the UNC, you know, but for Trinidad and Tobago. Right? It's a tragedy because she looked like I'm reading some of her stuff that she writes. I may not always agree with it, but she has a lot of good ideas, and no one person, no one good president, no one president cannot be good, no one prime minister or opposition leader. You have a group of people around you to advise you, and if she don't want to take any advice or anything from that girl or even from her father, something wrong with them.
So let me ask you this now. So who is your party pooper for the PNM? Who is the PNM party pooper?
Not Dylan, from the news that I heard last night with this thing in the United States. That is real madness. And I know people now start to hear about it, because if Mark Basan brought it up last night, I could imagine him sitting in the front page of the dailies for the next month. Right?
Yeah.
I don't know how he's going to respond for that.
And who is your party pooper for the UNC? Kamala or Glenn?
Well, boy, that is a big choice, because boy, Glenn full of unanswered questions from HDC houses, from people to do stuff for him. And then you have Kamala now with this thing. So I think it's a tie between Kamala and Glenn.
Well, they had to pick one, you know, so who are you picking?
Kamala.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. But ladies and gentlemen, could you imagine in this country, we have a Minister of National Insecurity, it is alleged, who tried to defraud a senior citizen in the U.S. Could you imagine that? Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Good afternoon. Could you put me on the show, please?
Yes, my dear, you're live.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you're live.
Kim?
Yes, you're live.
I am just ringing to say who my party people is. First is the Minister of Sport. And secondly is the leader of the opposition. That's all I'm ringing to say, because, you know, bye.
Thank you so much for your contribution, my dear. So far, we have 5 for Dylan, one for sports. Hi, good afternoon, caller, live.
Good afternoon. I've seen Mr. Alexander there. Who is the choices in the party people?
Well, it's unanimous this week. The nominee from the PEP is Phillip. The nominee from the UNC is Kamla Prasad Bisesa and Glenn Ramadan Singh, and the nominee from the PNM is Edmund Dillon as well as Darrell Smith.
No, but in the PNM and the UNC, you have two contestants. Who's the second person in the PEP?
Who's the second person for the PEP?
Yeah.
It was a unanimous decision. It's only Phillip.
But it's only Phillip. You ever see anybody else in the PEP? The PEP seems to be only Phillip, and he's talking. There's people and there's calling us on there, but I just only see Phillip Alexander. So I'm being facetious when I ask him who's the second person, because as far as I know, the PEP is only Phillip.
Well,
something wrong with that dude, you know. You ever watch his videos? You ever see a guy drinking tea and water at the same time?
But listen, I didn't have to look at his videos. I experienced it firsthand live on national TV.
I experienced it firsthand, right? But I watch his videos and I'm saying, wait now. He just didn't take a gulp of water, and then he drinking something from a cup, and then he drinking something from... Who drinks like that? Because you're drinking tea or you're drinking water, right? That thing something with that, and the narcissistic attitude of this guy. He says if he loses, if he doesn't win the election or be in a position at least, he will come out of politics.
I can barely hear what you're saying, you know. Caller, you're there, you're not there. But I didn't bat my eyelids, guys. What's that one? Caller, I apologize. The call dropped. You're welcome to call back 622-9785 or 628-6093. Yes, good afternoon. Hello. Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, that is the phone service we're getting in Trinidad these days. Hello?
Yes, caller, you're live. Good afternoon.
Yeah, this is the same caller here. That is the phone service we're getting in Trinidad these days.
All right. So tell me, who are your nominees for the PNM?
Well, I would say Minister of National Security for the PNM, the Glenn Ramadan Singh, is it? No, Glenn Ramadan Singh is the guy who came on TV yesterday and spoke about the Superior Corporation.
Well, he's the chairman of the Superior Regional Corporation.
Right.
Somebody, let me tell you what happened. Somebody,
that dude,
yes.
That dude,
yes.
Something wrong with him, right? And my definition to explain him is this. You see, when he comes on TV and he talk about they ain't giving no money, the government releasing no money, he does be talking to the people. You know, the people down under the water first, and when they ask what they're here for, they say, they come to support Mr. Hawaii from Region 3. And the people that was there and said, when they ask them, what are you here to support? They come to say, I have to support Kamala. And they didn't have a clue. You see them people? Because I can't understand. Man with the case from 2011, he was that case. But in 2018, you said the PNM government released money to pay the man from 2011. You understand? And in 2018, they come and repossess the truck.
Listen, I'm not playing no politics here, you know. The bottom line is, the man sued the corporation, and earlier this week, he levied on the corporation, and they towed away 5 of the corporation trucks, and the chairman couldn't do nothing. So I want to find out, you're voting for Kamla or Glenn? You're voting for Edmund Dillon or Darrell Smith? Or you're voting for Phillip? Simple. You're there or you're not there?
Hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, Glenn went that hands down.
All right, and in the PNM, who's your party pooper?
The Minister of National Security, Edmund Dillon.
But all you're real good in this place, all you have the audacity to refer to this man as the Minister of National Security. That is the Minister of National Insecurity, the only security.
With that, is it $2 billion budget? And you can't see a new police car. You can't see you're seeing some dinosaur scanners. You're seeing some you have no unmarked vehicles. You have no tasers for police. Police getting in fight with school children, big man, woman, all kind of thing in the country, and we can't protect our policemen and women by providing some defense mechanism, some, you know, alternative things to shooting and killing people. You know, I don't know, and everything seems to be caught up in. We have to take it to cabinet, and we have to take it to parliament, and we have to do this, and we have to do that. In the meantime,
just imagine that your water ain't coming through your pipe. You call them to ask them why you can't get water. They're telling you about the Act number 32-1. I want to know why water not coming through my pipe. You understand what I'm saying to you?
Everything has to go in cabinet and parliament, and in the meantime, here's what we're fixing. Traffic offense, if you forget your license home, is $10,000. You understand?
I understand.
If you forget your insurance home, if you forget women change purse every day, a boy take off his pants, leave his wallet in the old pants and jump in the car with a situation like that, $10,000. But we can't implement. If you're finding with a gun, 10 years maximum, minimum. You understand? If you catch you with a gun in your house, we seize your house. We need to implement laws to fix the problem that people are losing their life in Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you so much. Yes, my dear. Thank you so much for your contribution. All you have a tally there so far? So far, I see we have about 7 for the Minister of National Insecurity here, because it's 2.5 years you there, and believe you me, personally, I think at this point, the only security you could offer the citizens of this country is if you go down by the parliament or the waterfront with a box of condoms and the distributors. That's the only security you could afford to us citizens. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Yes, good afternoon, ma'am.
Yes, my dear, good afternoon.
Well, when UNC changed the PNM, I really thought that things would have been better for us to see a new regime. However, this PNM and that past UNC is the same thing. I see no changes. I see no cleanup. I ain't seen nothing. And like it's going down to the worst, and who know, and who don't know. I see Mr. Planning and Development, that was the UNC Planning and Development Minister. I see him on TV talking the other day. He was a UE principal. That is the man who removed the Director of Land and Surveys. There was no Director of Land and Survey in Trinidad and Tobago. It had papers on the ground, the high up in the sky, waiting to be signed, and there was none. Only when the PNM went in there that we got one, right? And Mrs. Kamla Prasad Bisasa will walk down Faizabad and hold hand in hand, put a 5% cap, but this one they put no 5% cap because Mistress Bisasa in certain state-owned agencies and places, they maliciously bring in people like rain want to fall. Now according to the industrial relations issue, you can't send them home. So the rest of fellas who was there and legitimately got jobs in these institutions can't get a back pay, because if they had to get a back pay because of the way everything went up and the downturn of the economy, them fellas have to go home, right? And call a commission, a query into the HR, into all those state-owned agencies and find out how these certain fellas get work. So when it is you seeing certain Petrotrin running down and Wassa running down and TNTech running down, it's friends and family, and the best degree you have is a certificated PNMism or UNCism.
I like that.
Get these high jobs. Right?
I like that.
Much,
hey, listen, you make me evening, yes. A certificate in PNMism or a certificate in UNCism. Could you imagine this? Something really wrong in this country. Something has to be wrong, because we have a new government. We can't get a boat. We can't get health care. It have no food card. All you need me to continue. Education is a mess. You have the Minister of Education who's criticizing children or criticizing a teacher for her dress code when she was assaulted by one of the children. All you can tell me what happened in this place? Hi, good afternoon, caller, you live. Hello?
Hello?
Yes, dear. How are you doing? You're live.
I call you from Lavancy here, but you see in 1986, You listening?
I'm listening, loud and clear.
Yeah, you see, 1986, PNM ain't supposed to swing a seat, and we in Lavantie give them 2 seats, and I live in Lavantie, applied for a house years ago. In 2015, I got interviewed for a house in the city government, and up to now, Mr. Rowley said I get the house, I paid down my lawyer money, me, my wife, and my son, and up to now, we're still waiting.
Well, I mean, for the last few days, we have been highlighting the HDC housing issue, and as far as I am aware, you have about 12,000 HDC homes that are abandoned, that are in need of repairs, and so on and so forth. So, I mean, I can't encourage you to go and squat in the people's house, but if it was me,
Deyanna,
I would have go.
I went and I checked, my son checked the house, and the house the apartment just the lock up in Oasis Garden, and they didn't give me it.
What is that?
The house they gave me, I interviewed me and my son and my wife, the house up the lock up still in Oasis Garden.
Yeah, that is in Shoguanas. If you see these houses, big houses, nice houses, they have every single thing in the house. They have fancy tiles, they have fancy ceiling, you have cupboards. In the kitchen, you have kitchen sink, you have fixtures, you have fittings. And you know what happened to it?
Yeah.
People coming and kicking open the door, ripping out the door, going with the door, toting away the ceiling, toting away the fixtures, toting away the kitchen sink.
My son checked it.
And it have people in this country who literally suffering for housing.
Yeah, because right now I pay in a little.
But caller, you know, it's hard to say all you like it so, because if I was to say, listen, let us make a stand for it, nobody will come out. So what you want me to do? I'm willing to stand up for all you, but the people are not willing to stand up for themselves. So what do you do in a situation like that?
Okay, then have a nice day.
Yes, dear. You too. Have a lovely day, and you know, I hope that you get through with your HDC, you know, application. I think you're better off paying the lotto. You might win the lotto faster than you may get through with a HDC house. Caller, you're live. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, dear, you're live.
Yes, I'm just calling to make a small contribution.
Yes.
Those people who talking, and as the host, the Nicole saying, they like it so, and they go vote back PNM. They go vote back PNM. You have to give Kamala Prasad a chance.
I had to give Kamala Prasad Bisesa a chance to do what, girl?
She did good for the 5 years she was here. It takes a woman to start to build a highway. Those men and them, otherwise it'll never start. I'm 71 years and I've been hearing about a highway for the last 50 years.
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Well, only time will tell.
Yeah, I'm calling from Point Forte.
How things on point?
Nothing happening. The borough ain't have no money to pay work, no work, it's only paying workers.
What about your MP? What about your MP, Nicola? Sorry, who's the MP?
Well, he come like a living dead. You never hearing something about him, he robbing people.
The MP for Point Fortin is not that man on my screen.
Never hearing robbing people.
Yes. Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. But
yeah, and right now they locked down the town hall because they're investigating some money missing.
Girl, so I hear. So I buy it or sell it. I ain't make no profit. But who are you voting for the Party Pooper Awards?
Kamala.
So Kamala is the Party Pooper.
I vote in Kamala all the time. Just like them who run and they're ready, I go to the rising sun. Because when you wake up in the morning, you can't go to see the rising sun.
Right. Thank you so much for your contribution. Caller, you say you voted for the rising sun. I remember I was sitting down there and I was listening to these people's election speeches. Serve the people, serve the people, serve the people. And we will rise, we will rise, we will rise. And then I see one set of people rising. So you couldn't possibly expect me to say I'm going to take my finger and vote for no PNM or take my finger and go and vote for no UNC. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live. Yes, dear, you're live. Hello?
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, dear, good afternoon.
How are you? How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I almost didn't recognize you. I heard you made a comment just now concerning, that there are people suffering for houses out there, and I am one of them. My application is over 10 years old. Could be more because I've stopped checking. Every time you go, they tell you it's a lottery system. I am willing to take night and make day in order to pay for a house. But to no avail, no matter what you tell them, it is the same thing over and over. It is a lottery system. I think people need to open their eyes. The government needs to get serious. It doesn't matter which government is
the government don't need to get serious.
Need to stop.
Caller, it's not the government need to get serious, it's the people need to get serious. Because you can't tell me you have all these houses just there and people have nowhere to sleep. People, there are some families, women with children sleeping underneath a step in the cold, exposed to the elements. And you telling me we have 1.4 million people in this country. You're also telling me that we have 175,000 applicants for HDC housing. And I can guarantee you, if tomorrow or if Monday I say, let us go and take a stand and protest outside HDC, I go in and see, 5 or 10 people standing out there.
Exactly, 5 or 10 people.
So that was the use. So why fight for people who don't want to fight for themselves? The people have to come out and say, enough is enough. And governments, present governments or past governments, they only respect numbers. When they see people coming out in their droves, that is when they take us. That is the only time they give you a hearing.
So true. Have a blessed evening there. It was lovely seeing you again.
Yes, my dear. Thank you so much. Hi, good afternoon. Caller, you're live. Hello.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, my dear, you're live.
How are you, my darling?
I'm good.
Yes, I want to make a complaint.
Tell me.
I want to make a complaint about the Cuba Corporation. Anytime you see you cut your grass and you put it in a bag outside, and you put your rubbish outside and they see a leaf, one leaf from a palm tree, they're leaving it there. They're not collecting the grass at all.
That's the Cuba Talparo Regional Corporation?
Yes.
My
family is in Restonia in Saranti Drive. Anytime they see grass, they're leaving it right in front of your place. And I want the corporation to know they're supposed to pick up the grass. When people clean the place, all you want a clean environment, pick up the rubbish. That Cuba Corporation. I want them to hear me this afternoon.
Thank you so much for your contribution, my dear. I just pulled it up. I think the head of the regional corporation is Mr. Awai, Henry Awai. I'm going to give Mr. Awai a call and find out what's taking place down there. I also think that the member of parliament for that area would be Dr. Suraj Ratan Rambajan. We're going to call him. You have to embarrass them into action. You know, that's the only way you get things done. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live. Yes, good afternoon, you're live.
Hello?
Yes, my dear.
Yeah, hi, good evening.
Good afternoon.
Afternoon, sorry. I want to make a highlight on sports in Trinidad and Tobago. It's been 2 years the national governing organizations haven't received funding, and sports is really in a terrible mess in this country. All the $1 million they're offering for the people who get a gold medal, what about the development of the athletes? It's really ridiculous. Please, could you look into it, because without sports, I think a lot of youths just falling by the roadside in different activities that we really don't even want to mention. They give it power on your program. Wonderful program. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your contribution, caller. I will definitely look into it. But the latest information before me. Remember 2 or 3 weeks ago, I told you all that I had a file. And in the file, it had something with respect to the Minister of Sport. I am aware, and it is alleged, that the personal assistant of the Minister of Sport was paid $150,000 after her dismissal, and she was also made to sign a non-disclosure agreement. Now I'm going to do some further research to find out if it is we the taxpayers have to absorb that cost. If a non-disclosure means that we don't know exactly what we pay in that $150,000 for. So I will get the cold truth about that. Hi, good afternoon, caller, you're live.
Hello, good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you're live.
This evening is, well, my pooper for today is, I would say, Double Smith.
Right, right.
I mean, if you come into the office and you spend some $80-something thousand on a weekend.
92.
92 on a weekend or so for a handful of people, right? I mean, that is kind of ridiculous. A normal person down here can't even spend a good $1,500 to stay to carry out the family on a weekend to have a getaway. Right? And you taking taxpayers' money to go away with a handful of people as an retreat, right? Also on the housing issue, if the government would take into consideration putting a cap on people who have to buy land from these other people on the outside, that they come and they want to sell the land for exorbitant amount of money because in a certain area. Sometimes you buy a piece of land on a sloping hill and it's $1 million you call and pay. Right? I mean, it have people out there who will buy it and develop it, but it have people down here who want to get somewhere decent to live, and they want to buy a piece of land, and they will buy it if the price is reasonable. But if you selling land for 1.1 million, 1.5 and all kind of thing, that is ridiculous. You understand? I find they should look into that and kind of consider where these people getting these prices from, because the real estate agents is the ones who really lifting up the prices on the land, so they could get their cut in the deal. You understand? Because when you look at it, land in the Midland where you paying 1.5 million, you understand? I find that is ridiculous, and people can afford to buy land. It's just the prices are too high, especially people like single parents who keep saving to try and make it better for the family and have a family growing a young family. I mean, they are the ones who really and truly want to have a good start and give the family a life and keep them off the streets. But when you're doing these things, this is what keeping back the poor man. You understand?
That's not what keeping back the poor man. The poor man keeping back the poor man. The poor man wouldn't come out down by the parliament and take a stand. The poor man and the poor woman wouldn't go down by the HBC in Port of Spain and take a stand. You understand?
What they want, they need to do something like what happened in Venezuela and these places where the whole country come out and walk in the streets. You understand? When you see the price of something go up for no reason at all, and they're saying the price of milk going up or the price of flour going up by 2 cents, and people raising the prices by $2 and $3, it's not fair. You understand?
Well,
that is what the people have to do in this country, and that is what making the price of goods and services going up high here. You understand?
Well, that's the next thing, caller, but I mean, we have to wrap up the program, so who is your party pooper for this evening?
Daryl Smith for now, yes.
Thank you so much for your contribution. You know, I went to the supermarket a couple evenings ago. How people in this country living, what people in this country just eat when the day come, because the price of food, it has at least doubled or tripled within the last few years. I really want to know, I mean, and I will do a program on that next week, what people eating in this country, because basic, just bare basic food, rice, sugar, flour, oil, milk, coming up to hundreds of dollars. Hi, good afternoon. Final caller for the evening. You're live.
Hello?
Yes, yeah, you're live. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, you're live.
Yes, I'm live. Yes, I would like to know, these new talk show hosts, I would like to know what the qualifications are, why they come out there and incite these people with all these sort of questions, and I would like to know what qualifications they have and who is paying these people.
Well, I would like to know what qualifies you to call into my program to ask me this nonsense this Good Friday evening. Who paying you? B-Mobile, Digicel?
Yes, I would like to know. I find there so many.
So, we are just about out of time, but before we go, I think it is safe to say that the Cold Truths Party Pooper for this week, the first ever Party Pooper Awards, is none other than Minister of National Insecurity, Mr. Edmund Dillon. Thank you so much for being a part of this afternoon's discussion. Thank you so much for being a part of this afternoon's discussion. Be sure to view us 1 minute you're telling me, 1 minute, next minute you're telling me. So I should put my staff, David, you should be the Cold Truth second Party Pooper for the evening then. But this evening, the Cold Truth's first ever Party Pooper Award goes to none other than Minister of National Insecurity and the Member of Parliament for Point Fortin, Edmund Dillon. Thank you all so much for being a part of this evening's discussion. Remember that you can view the reruns of the programs on Saturday and Sunday, 4:45 to 5:45 p.m. right here on Synergy TV. You know, we encourage you to have a safe and a blessed weekend, and we'll see you Monday evening, same place, same time. Come on, that's so not cool.
Ladies and gentlemen, our country is falling apart.
The nation is in mourning tonight.
Our institutions are failing. Crime is out of control. It is our duty to fix it. We are touching on every sector of society. Race, class, and corruption. Nothing is off limit. No holds barred. The Cold Truth with Kim Cole. The power belongs to the people. Join us right here Monday to Sunday, 4:45 p.m. to 5:45 p.m.